Morning traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Focus, the show where we look ahead at the opportunities that could be setting up in the FX markets. Last week was a little bit of a frustrating week. We were expecting the dollar trend to continue, but unfortunately it didn't do that. With the market focus on Greece, and Greece really just playing with all of our emotions of not paying up, not coming to the table, not really giving any sort of resolution to the issues that they're facing at the moment, really caused the markets to sort of hang in limbo for the majority of the week, and it all culminated at the end of the week with Greece ultimately saying they're not going to pay, they're going to bundle their payments and pay it at the end of the month. Now, from our perspective, it's we can't really see this situation getting any better, because at the end of the day, if you've got to ask someone to borrow money to then pay them back, it's never a great situation to be in, is it? But in any case, that ultimately affected the trades that we were looking at. So we got a lot of sideways action. The market retraced a little bit. And then we got a positive non-farm payroll figure on Friday, which gave the markets a little bit of direction. But what we'll have to do is wait to see how that pans out over the coming weeks. So what we're going to do, we've got 3 trades that we're looking at that potentially could set up next week or in the coming weeks. So let's jump across to the charts and see exactly what they are. So we've got 3 opportunities that we're looking at this week. The first one is the AUDCAD. Now the AUDCAD, we're looking for a liquidity fade on this. And basically what that ultimately means is we're looking for the markets to come down to this level here, this support level, break through, but fail to find any real momentum below this level, and then break back above it. And the reason that we're looking at that is basically looking at this price action here. We're not saying that it can't break any lower. Of course, the markets can do anything that they want to do. But looking at the price action here, it is very rangy. Okay, so it's very range bound. The market's moving sideways. There isn't any real direction. So if the market were to break through this level here and then break back above it, so close above this level, that would be an indication to us that the market's really not ready to go any lower at this particular moment in time. And what we'd end up seeing is some sort of a little bit of a retracement. We're not looking for a huge amount, so we don't need the market to go all the way back up here or up here. All we need the market to do is just basically retrace a little bit, maybe come up to these sorts of levels here. So this previous level of support would then act as resistance. But as you can see, we're not looking for a huge movement. We can, with these particular trades here, the thing that's very effective about them is that we get a very, very good risk reward. All right, so we'd get our entry somewhere around this level here at these lows at around the 0.9406, and obviously then we'll be looking for the market to come up to the 0.9580. So you're looking at about 180 pips, and as long as there isn't too much of a break below this level, that will give us, or that should give us, a very good risk reward trade. So that's the first one we're looking at, the AUDCAD. You can see that the market is moving to that level with some momentum. So if we get down there and the market does then turn around, that will be one trade that we're certainly looking to take next week. The other one, which probably won't set up next week, but it's something that is that we are going to be watching, and that is the pound yen. So the pound yen, if we zoom in here on the daily charts, probably the best place to take a look at it. The pound yen has been rallying over the past month or so, and what we'd like to see is we'd like to see a little bit of a pullback. So if the pound yen could get back to around this area here, so this previous level of resistance, which then acts as support, and if this level can then hold, we'll be looking at it to provide the support for us to be able to build into a position for the long pound yen. And this is something that, due to the fact that we see a lot of yen weakness in the coming months and years, this is something we see could really pay us. But we need the market, we need the technicals to set up there. So we need the markets to get back here, because we don't want to be buying at the highs here. It doesn't make any sense. So we want the markets to pull back to a level of support, so previous resistance becomes support, or maybe the market will break on from here, give some momentum move to the upside, and then pull back to this level. Either isn't a problem for us. We don't mind. We'll take a trade from either position, but ultimately that's what we're looking to do in the coming weeks and months, if that pulls back. And finally, you could look at it as some sort of a little bit of a hedge if we were to go long on the pound yen. But finally, we're looking at the pound Aussie, because this is showing very sort of toppy price action. So the market's been bouncing on up, and you can see it's been making nice swings to the upside, swinging up and up and up, and it's been doing that for a little while now. But if you take a look at this here, the market is now sort of moving sideways. So this previous bounce from this upwards trend line, it didn't break the high. So what we're expecting is for the markets to break down from this level, so break this trend line here. And when it does that, if we can then see sort of like a 1, 2, 3 reversal, so we see the market pull back to this trend line and then break down, that will be a long-term position that we may look to build into. But it's certainly something that's on our radar. It's not something that's set up just yet, but something that we will be looking at in the coming days, weeks, and months. Okay, so that wraps up this week's show. I hope you got a lot of value in it. Unfortunately, there aren't that many trades on the table because, as I said at the beginning, all of the focus on Greece at the moment. Obviously, at the end of last week, they decided not to pay and to bundle all of their payments into, I think it's 3 payments at the end of the month, or 4 payments with the other 3 payments at the end of the month. But ultimately, from my perspective, it's just really kicking the can down the street. I don't see there's going to be any great resolution at the end of the month. I don't see they're just going to turn up with all of the money to be able to make their payment. Obviously, they're going to look for further bailouts. So yeah, no real positive outcome there. The problem with that is obviously now we've got another few weeks of the markets paying attention to see what's going to go on with Greece. So we could be looking at a little bit more choppy price action in the coming weeks, but that just means that we need to trade defensively, make sure we don't overexpose ourselves to any one particular position, and look to sort of be in and out relatively quickly. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this week's Forex Focus. I hope you got a lot of value. Please remember to give a thumbs up or post beneath the video. Share the video if you like as well, and if you think that there's anybody else that you know that may find value in these videos. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll speak to you on next week's Forex Focus.